if you're one of those people who tend to think about how they got to where they are, and you may take the time to look backwards at the decisions you made, and you might be going through like a beat yourself up process and how did it get like this and all this other stuff. And I do that too. I do that often. I do that frequently. And I'm not gonna lie to you, it's a terrible habit. It's a very unhealthy habit because your mind should be more focused on positive things. But let's be real, it takes a certain type of individual and a certain type of effort to truly control your thoughts. And when you're not accustomed to doing that, trying to tailor your thoughts or tailor the feedback of your mind feels essentially impossible, which is why I always recommend to constantly do things outside of yourself, do external actions that align with the person that you want to be. That is the easiest, tried and true method for lasting change. I was gonna say permanent change, but permanent change I feel like really comes down the line when you cross this threshold where you don't even realize you're not thinking of those old thoughts anymore because you're so focused on a new set of problems that this new set of problems accompanies new people in your life, new social dynamics, new everything. And in turn, all of those things ultimately have you as a new person. Sure, at the root, you could be the same person you've always been, but if you're focused on growing, on changing, on pursuing the things that you want, you'll never stay the same person. And I know that to be true. And it's not something that I'm hoping for. I know it as a factual thing. One of the reasons why I really wanted to consistently do this vlog is not only be accountable to myself, but I like to believe that I'm going to be where my mind projects myself to be in the future. And I have a certain level of desperation that this is going to occur sooner than later because, you know, frankly, I'm just tired of struggle. I'm tired of a lot of different things. But not unfortunately, but the way life goes, you don't necessarily determine the duration of your journey. You just arrive when you're ready or when you've done what you needed to do to get there. And that's really just what it is. And the process of going through your journey, when you're someone like me who deals with discouragement, I think most people deal with discouragement. I think how it hits them and how they feel about it, it would vary because obviously it would also depend on where you are in life. And I feel like where I am right now in life, when I feel discouragement, it's not like a small emotion or it's not fleeting. It is a full encompassing, almost like a tsunami wave of emotion that I essentially have to like work through all day. And because I love the people that I speak to and I'm around, I've always been the type of person where it's like, I'm not trying to expose you to that. So here I am showing up and being consistent, and I'm still feeling these waves of discouragement, maybe because I'm not where I want to be fast enough, maybe because this is life's way of testing me to make sure that when I get what I really want and I'm dealing with certain problems, I can handle it, because life will do that for you. Not to you, but for you. It will put you through things so that way you can handle the real problems and the real blessings that you've truly been waiting for all your life. So right now, you know, I am dealing with the situation of like, I don't even want to talk about like external work and life stuff. I just want to talk about like the things that I'm actually doing that you can see. So if you were to go to like my beat page, you'd see that I posted a beat that hit 1200K. And emotionally, that was such a high point because it made me feel more than ever that this idea of making money off of music or having thousands of people listening to my music was more than possible. And then the post after that got like 2 views, and then the one after that got like maybe 8, or I might be saying it in reverse. So I'm looking at this and I'm also dealing with the emotion of like this wave of discouragement that is just like getting heavier and heavier by the hour. whether I'm at home or I'm work or I'm leaving work. It's just there, and it makes me not really want to do anything. It makes me really want to just chill, because that's really always been my natural state, is to either create something or chill. And if I chill too long, I end up getting depressed. And if I'm not creating a certain balance in my creative schedule, then something suffers. Like, I'll end up alienating my girlfriend because I'm not giving her enough attention. I'll avoid social situations because it's like, I think this is more important. It's a matter of like, that you have to live life in a balance in general. So I'm looking at this and I'm just like, wow, I had a peak and a valley so quickly. Is this like, am I looking at literally the very last time that I'll ever reach that peak? And I have to literally ask myself that, because prior to that 1000K video, nothing that I've ever put out had even been viewed. And I'm not even focusing on the engagement. It's just the ability for the algorithm to get this in people's face. When it comes to engagement, I know how people are when it comes to YouTube. They'll swipe. They'll like something but not like it. They'll save something but not. It's just like, people are strange for the most part. And I see in hindsight, and I'm seeing in present moment, that when you're presented with these situations that really make you want to give up, that is an affirmation that you are very likely headed in the right direction. Now, that might sound counterintuitive, because it's like, well, it sounds like what you're doing isn't working. And it's just like, no. Everything that you do will not necessarily be accepted. But what's very important when you're trying to present yourself to the world or share yourself to the world is what I've always considered like a body of work. I feel like my ability to truly absorb how serious a person is, or truly understand how serious a person is by simply looking at their body of work. And within that body of work, there's going to be duds. It's like that for everybody. Every field, every craft, there's going to be duds. There's going to be more duds than successes. There's going to be more coal than diamonds. There's going to be more dirt than precious stones. It's always going to be like that. And once I understood that sometimes it's not necessarily about the reception of the work. Sometimes it's really just about the work and putting it out, and that is all. It's about that process and the repetition of it. And if you're thinking about, how do I make this more engaging? How do I get this to reach more people? Those are the right questions, because you're thinking of improving. But the reason why you're thinking of that is because you're working, you're stepping back, you're seeing the results, and then you are entering a loop of execution, which is how you're supposed to be. And the moment you kind of reach a milestone, that even in itself becomes a test. Because what if I made $1 million? How quickly would I go back to making a beat? I would love to say I'd be in the studio, but knowing my past self, you know, I used to consider myself an early celebrator, where I would get gas off of the smallest thing that I did, because I'm just like, oh my God, what I did is so amazing and so great. So I would have this really weird, inflated sense of self-belief in the wrong things. So now looking at these moments for these past days where I'm just getting wave and wave after discouragement, and the sense of anxiety for architecture school, and this sense of like, I just feel so much potential, but I'm so tired of just feeling the intangible. Like, I want to see the tangible results of all of this potential, of all of these years of work, of just doing these different things, of finally seeing what I consider to be like my genius coming together in a way where I can profit and then just live off life. And the thing is, it doesn't work like that. Like, you can't just want what you want because you feel like you deserve it when you're ready for it. Like, you don't even know when you're really ready for something. You don't even know when it's really your time. It's just like the life will tell you it's your time. The how people respond to you will let you know it's your time. How your work makes people feel will let you know it's your time. You can't focus so much on like what you want. You have to focus on what you have to do. And when you are so focused on what you want, you lose sight of the most important things, because by the time you get what you want, it won't even be as valuable as you thought it was. And that's why the work is so important. I was just watching an interview with Southside, and he was talking about how like Future is essentially in the studio all the time. And he tries to live his life with that being the center, and everything else is just revolving around it. You know, whatever type of business he wants to conduct, he's trying to conduct it in the studio. And it's just like, he's like, why would I leave the space where this is where the money is being made? This is where the money is being printed out. Why would I leave it? And he's just like, yeah, I've accumulated this amount of money, but that's great. I'm gonna take this money and put it to the side and go back to work, and essentially stack the money on top of the money and double it up. And when I hear that, it's just like, I remember that Future's launch and his career took a long time. It took a long time for him to really like take off. By the time you heard, what was that Future song? I want to say, the album that Mike Will Made It had produced at the same damn time. By the time you heard that record, Future had essentially been trying to pop for years. 4 years. And it's just like, as much as you or I or anybody would just want what they want right now, what you want is really not as important as the process and the cost. You may want something, like wanting something truly is a fantasy. What are you willing to do for it? And more importantly, how long are you willing to do that? And that's where the real question is. It's not even just like, what are you willing to do for it? It's like, well, how long are you willing to do for it? You ever tell somebody to do planks and not tell them how long they have to do them for? You don't tell them how much time is passing. You don't tell them anything. I've literally seen somebody who can like knock out planks easily, and the moment they have no reference of time, of how much time has passed, how much time is supposed to hold it, they start struggling in the early stages. That really tells you about the mind. Like, the moment you remove the idea of a destination, or this destination is incoming, this is where you start to see like people start kind of falling away. They start kind of falling out, and they just kind of hang it up because it's like, oh, well, it didn't happen. It didn't happen because you stopped. It didn't happen because you stopped. It didn't happen. I was even going to say it didn't happen because you didn't adapt. It's just like, even in stubbornness, you can find your own lane. There's a multitude of artists who, in the face of all the musical changes that occurred from the early 2000s to now, did not change at all. And because of that, they have their own significant lane, their own audience, their own everything. It was a matter of, they were willing to do what they decided to do for as long as they felt like they needed to, or fuck it, as long as it took. And I think that that's one of those things where, myself, if you're watching this video, you are gonna have to deal with, where if you're someone like me who gets easily discouraged, or even if you don't really deal with that, you're still going to essentially like come to these different points of time where you really have to ask yourself, like, are you willing to do what's needed to be done for as long as it's needed without ever knowing when it's gonna happen? Because if someone was to tell me like, yo, if you keep doing this for this amount of time, it's gonna happen around this time. Oh yeah, I'm all the way locked in. I'm super locked in. The fuck? Yeah, sign me up. I'm crossing dates off my calendar. I'm fucking ready to go. But you know what? You tell me, keep doing this, keep making beats every day, keep posting every day, keep showing up, keep shooting your shot, and eventually it's gonna happen. Now we're challenging like a whole different part of my subconscious and my ego. Now it's just like, well, in order for me to believe you, I have to believe in me. And as somebody who struggles with that, that's tough. That's super tough. And to be honest, the concept of this video is the solution of that is just to simply be like, make a commitment, make a promise, and show up. Like, there's really nothing else you can do, bro. There's really nothing else you can do, sis, like, apart from keep doing what you're doing, or do research to see if you need to take a different approach, and then go back, take that different approach, and then keep going. Like, there's really nothing else. If you feel like what you're doing is not working out, keep going, keep doing it. It doesn't matter. Like, the result is not even as important as the work, because like I said, if you ever do get what you actually want, bro, it will not be as great as you think it is. That's why the journey is more important, because the journey is the transformation process. The journey is the purification process. The journey is the thing that is going to truly elevate you. You feel me? It's just like you need a target for a journey to ensue. Because I think like an aimless journey, you might end up in a horrible situation where it doesn't matter if you've learned from your mistakes or if you learned from your situation, you fucked up bad and you can't get out of that. So the result that you could have gotten is permanently altered. So now you got to operate within this limited capacity. So at the very least, have a target. But someone like me, maybe someone like you or someone you know, really has to look at this and say, like, it doesn't matter how long this is going to take. And I've said this to myself so many times, but the problem is like the stopping part. That's the problem. See, me, after stopping, I'm going to reach an emotional threshold of like, I feel like a fucking bum. I feel like a bozo. I feel like a dirtbag. I need to get up and go do some shit. Months could pass in this period of like me reaching to that conclusion emotionally, or me reaching that emotional threshold of like, yo, I need to get up and go do some shit. Months could pass. Months turn to years. Years turn to decades. Decades turn into a lifetime. So that's why it's so important to be consistent and to show up even in these emotional states, because it's like you're not always going to feel it, but the results of your work is always going to show up one way or another. And it doesn't matter how you were feeling on those days. What matters is what you did on those days, is the results. And you essentially have to resign yourself to be like, I'm going to keep showing up no matter what, for as long as it takes, because that's what it takes. And that's just something we all have to accept at some point in time. And after accepting it, you're going to have to remind yourself, as do I. And this video really is just a reminder, because as I'm talking, I was reminded of something I literally said to a friend of mine, to myself, and I said it multiple times. I was like, you know what? I wish what I wanted would have happened sooner, but at the end of the day, I am still going to keep trying to get there, because I don't know what else to do. I don't know what else to do. I can't just quit. I might stop at the roadside. I might fucking lose my way. I might get lost. I might forget my name, I might forget my purpose, but it's like, I am not going to just quit. I'm not just gonna give up. Like, I'm always gonna come back on road and keep going. And because of that mentality, that doesn't go well with inconsistency. Because if you have that mentality and you're inconsistent, you end up just wasting time, and the inconsistency just shoots you in the foot. And then you pair that with overthinking and not doing enough doing. And what you have is just a literal clusterfuck of things not aligning, things not being congruent with each other. So, you know, as I'm feeling these emotions, I posted a beat. I saw I didn't really get much views, so I posted 2 more today. And honestly, like, if I have another day like this, I'm gonna post 4 more. I'm gonna see if I can post up 10. And I have shitload of beats I already made, but I just like to make it and then post it, so that way I'm still at the very least relatively sharp with my skill set and what I'm able to do right then and there. If somebody wants me to make a beat right then and there. And just because I'm talking about making beats, like, I don't want to in any way, shape, or form indicate that this is like a beat making channel where I'm focusing on music making. Music making is just simply the thing that I decided to commit to because I was tired of picking things up, and once it required more of me than I was willing to give, I would just simply put it back down. And I went through this process with painting, and the stuff that I was able to do with painting with absolutely no skill set was amazing. I was even able to make money off of selling paintings. And it's crazy how the mind will sabotage you, because right after I did that, I never painted again. Or fucking stone sculpting, which it's just a genuine love of mine, and I truly cannot wait until I can do it again. But all these different things were never consistently pursued for me to like have tangible results for me to show people. And I decided that music making is going to be the thing that I don't quit on, because you know what? I quit on it 5-6 times before I even got decent, because I was like, fuck, this is way too hard. Like, I'm never gonna get it. Now I'm way better than I ever been, but am I as good as I wanna be? No. And sometimes I think maybe that's why I'm not getting the results that I want, because I'm just not good enough. But I have other moments of epiphanies where it's just like, maybe you're as good or close to being as good as you want to be, and what's stopping you from getting as good as you truly want to be is because you're not constantly sharing your work for you to get the necessary feedback to get there. Whether these things are true or not, none of these things really should be the important focus of whatever I'm saying. The whole point is, regardless if it's rain, sleet, sunshine, you're certain, you're not certain, there's a due date, there's no due date, there's no date at all, you don't know if it's gonna happen for you, you don't even know if it's worth it anymore, you lost the sight of the plot, doesn't fucking matter, bro. Just show up. Just keep going, don't stop. Just keep going and don't stop. Nothing is ever going to matter or be measurable like results, whether it's for you, someone who knows you, or someone who doesn't know you. When you're 60 years old and you're looking at your life, you're going to literally look at the things that you did and wallow and lament at the things you didn't do. Give yourself a reason not even to focus on the things that you didn't do, because you did so fucking much, because you kept showing up regardless of what was happening. I know that's what I'm gonna do. I know that I'm gonna keep showing up. I'm gonna keep making these fucking videos, and I'm gonna see what's gonna happen. For real, at this point, I'm starting to feel like it's not even just like some type of fucking, I'm tired. Some type of like goal at this point. It's starting to feel like an experiment of just like, can this channel grow from these type of vlogs of me just looking into this camera and expressing my thoughts that I feel like would really help somebody. Now I truly cannot wait to see, like, 60 days from now, when I turn 30, what will the results be? When I turn 31, when I turn 32, when my music career takes off, when I graduate architecture school, like what are the results going to be if during all of these periods I keep showing up and making these videos? Maybe it doesn't blow up in the period that I wanted to, or maybe it does, but I'll never find out if I stop. And you'll never find out when the day that you've been anticipating is gonna be here if you stop. And what that means that I'm gonna stop. But just know that whatever type of emotional blockage or physical obstacle or whatever the case may be, like, it's not real, bro. Obstacles are optical illusions. I promise you. I promise you.